Fox 2 presents Hancock and Kelly.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Hancock and Kelly on Fox 2, where we take on the top issues of the week. On the right, John Hancock.
Top of the morning, everybody.
On the left, it's Michael Kelly.
Good morning.
I'm Andy Banker. On the agenda, a migrant living illegally in St. Peter's and driving without a license is accused of killing a St. Louis police officer. The embattled chief of the St. Louis City Jail has been off the job on leave for more than 10 days now. City officials won't say why or how long she might be gone. Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris visits the U.S. southern border in Arizona. And our quote of the week is from the former superintendent of St. Louis Public Schools, fired after just 1 year on the job. Also, a new report on the July attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump paints a wretched picture of the U.S. Secret Service, where we begin with the tragic death of a St. Louis police officer, David Lee. Authorities say a migrant driver illegally in the U.S. with no license struck and killed Lee as Lee was working an accident scene on Interstate 70 1 week ago.
Well, David loved people for who they were. David embraced all of us. David was all of our protectors, all of us.
This is video of the suspect, Ramon Chavez Rodriguez, being booked by St. Peter's Police back in October 2020, nearly 4 years ago. During the pandemic, Donald Trump was president then. This man was convicted of violently beating his girlfriend and trying to run her over with a car in a domestic abuse case. He was sentenced to probation for that in 2022. St. Peter's Police contacted federal authorities about his immigration status. Still, he was released, not deported. That, of course, was under the Biden-Harris administration. Does any of this go back to presidential politics and the border politics?
Well, certainly the border politics. And you're looking at a situation now where the Biden administration's own Department of Homeland Security says that there's 425,000 criminals in this country. And here's the thing. If you get here and you're a criminal and you commit a traffic offense, speeding, whatever it is, you can't stay. You just can't stay. And this guy should never have been here. He should never have been on the streets. He was driving drunk. He was driving without a license. This is a real problem. This is why, when you look at the polling data on the presidential race, Donald Trump wins hands down on who's the better protector of the border.
A man here illegally did all the things John just said, or is accused of it, and he had a conviction for beating a woman and trying to run her over with his car. We can't get him out of the United States.
Well, it seems to me this is a failure top to bottom. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole, point out that it came from Trump's administration, et cetera. I think what it points to is the large problem that we have that needs to be dealt with. And that's why it's unfortunate that it's being played as a political football in this presidential process rather than us really coming together with some solutions to address this problem. But I can't help but think of this poor officer. That was out fighting for our community, who at several other points prior to this in St. Charles County and previous arrests that could have been stopped and dealt with.
One of the real problems here is the asylum-seeking system in this country is broken. And so people are coming in, they're claiming asylum. Some of those cases are legitimate. I suspect many are not. But they can't get it adjudicated for years. So they're given a card with a court date 5 years from now, and then they're released into the country. And that system's broken. You can't fix that by executive order. Trump was able to shut it down because of the pandemic, because there was a health care component to the law, and that's what Title 42 did. It did shut down the border. We've got to reform the asylum-seeking laws. There was legislation that attempted to do that. It didn't pass. But that's the fundamental problem here. That system is broken.
That legislation you referenced was the Republican-led legislation that Donald Trump killed.
Yeah.
But here's why I brought that up. Who was president? I don't know who was president when this man came into the country. He could have come in before Donald Trump. We don't have that information yet. But he certainly was here before Joe Biden took office. The reason I brought that up is because the minute we started publicizing this, just a rash of social media commenters about, oh, well, this is Kamala Harris, this is Biden-Harris, border policy. Well, but he was here before they got into office.
But it feeds into the narrative that the Trump campaign has been pushing, some of it based in fact, most of it based in, puffery and a lot of bigotry from my perspective.
Well, we got more on the border coming up a little later in the show. The man convicted of a notorious St. Louis murder from more than 25 years ago was executed by lethal injection Tuesday. 55-year-old Marcellus Williams was convicted in the grisly stabbing death of former Post-Dispatch reporter Leisha Gale during a burglary at her home in U City. The victim's personal items were found in his car. He sold a computer stolen from her home. His girlfriend at the time testified that Williams admitted to the murder and that she saw him disposing of bloody clothes. However, current St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell sought to vacate the conviction, citing a lack of DNA evidence. Williams' fight for exoneration drew national headlines, but all final appeals failed. In a social media post, the NAACP called this the lynching of an innocent man. Is that what this was, Michael?
No, I'm not sure that that's the case. I think it was definitely a state execution. I personally don't think we ought to have the death penalty. Then again, it wasn't my relative who was killed. I probably would feel drastically different. Look, this gentleman and this process played out over decades. And the court system is slow, methodical, and triple checks itself so that they can find errors in the system. It seems to me all of the tickles that could have stopped this execution from happening didn't come with the fruit that would be necessary to have stopped it. This man clearly was convicted by his peers, and the execution went forward.
He brought up a point about, if it's your relative. The victim's family in this case didn't want him put to death, reportedly.
Well, I saw that reporting as well. This is a heinous crime. It's capital murder. He's got the victim's stuff in his car. He's selling the victim's stuff to other people. He's got a witness that says he confessed to her he did the crime. He's found guilty by a jury of his peers. One of the penalties for this particular kind of crime is death, and that was the sentence. He had all of the benefits of all of the appeals, and he was put to death. That's how justice works in this country.
It was an awful, awful crime. It shouldn't be lost. St. Louis's embattled jail chief, Corrections Commissioner Jennifer Clemens Abdullah, has been on leave from her job for more than 10 days. The city of St. Louis only made the news public 6 days after that leave began, when reporters started asking questions about where she was. The jail has faced crisis after crisis in recent years.
When you have the public that has clearly stated, that we have concerns here, we don't trust what's going on, to shroud actions and activity going on there, the leadership going on there with more doubt is not helping build trust, much needed trust in our criminal justice system.
Clemens Abdullah has admitted the jail is greatly understaffed. Problems during her tenure include a guard held hostage and beaten, frequent police responses to quell potential uprisings at the jail, rampant drug use among inmates, more than a dozen inmate deaths, and a lack of access for a civilian review board charged with addressing issues at the jail. Clemens Abdullah was appointed by St. Louis Mayor Tishaura Jones 3 years ago in the wake of 2 inmate riots just months apart. Now, to be clear, those riots happened before Clemens Abdullah took the job. The mayor's office released a statement to Fox 2 saying, "We are not hiding information about her leave. Rather, we are adhering to city code, which protects the personnel records of city employees. Our office alerted the chair of the Public Safety Committee of the Board of Aldermen, jail staff, the courts, and the chief of police." Is that good enough, John?
No. And something is stinky in Denmark, or whatever people say about Denmark. You failed to mention that the locks didn't work there for a while in the jail cells. Now, there's a brilliant leadership. There is a problem here. They closed down the city workhouse. They didn't have a plan. They're overcrowding this jail. We're now having to pay to send St. Louis prisoners elsewhere because we don't have the housing for them. We don't have enough staff at this jail. People are dying at this jail. No accountability, zero. Now the director's on leave. We don't know anything, really. It's just not right.
Should those records be protected, the personnel records?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we know? I mean, she makes $140,000 almost in taxpayer money.
I think they should be protected until they're not, Andy. And why I say that is we don't know. This could be a health concern. It could be something else that should be protected. But the real problem that's driving us wanting to know what's going on is we had a mayor who got elected to run the city based on this particular issue, this particular jail that was a problem. She had said, we got to close this workhouse. It's not working. We're going to put all our focus on this jail. The jail has continued to spiral out of control. It doesn't get the attention from local media and columnists that it used to get in the past. And we have a mayor who's ducking it. So when questions of where is this director come up, that's being done under the canvas of all of this other nonsense, which has never brought any fruit forward on what the mayor said she was going to do. In fact, she's compounded and made it worse.
I want to touch on this real quick. This became a shining star of the St. Louis entertainment scene, and already the St. Louis Armory is out of business. The event and entertainment district in Midtown lasted less than 2 years, though operators hope the closure is only temporary. It's been billed as the biggest bar in St. Louis. Its developer, Green Street St. Louis, has struggled. Only the initial phase of the site had been completed. Unpaid contractors have filed suit. A plan to bring in outside investors and reopen the Armory is reportedly in the works. Michael, is it overstating things to just say this place made you feel better about St. Louis? You know, it had a high visibility on Highway 40 when you drive through the heart of town. It looked like something good, and then
well, it was so big.
You ever have something nice in St. Louis?
And it came with such fanfare.
Yeah.
And we should give it the same large consideration as to what this is ultimately saying. Andy, this wasn't something that was done, you know, halfway the way that it should have been done. This was a first-class facility. And the reality is they weren't getting the people. And this is on top of other things that we're seeing happen in the city of St. Louis. We can make up all their business model, et cetera, this, that, and the other. The Cardinals aren't playing well. People are voting with their feet and not coming to downtown and coming to the city of St. Louis. We've got to address this, and it really comes down to public safety, regardless of whatever numbers they want to say are out there.
You agree?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I drew all over the couch. I scratched the coffee table that Mom and Dad just bought, and my mother explained, this is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things, because we've got a crime problem that we refuse to address, and people aren't coming.
Up next, the scathing new report on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. Plus, Mr. Trump and his Democrat rival Kamala Harris clash over immigration policy as she visits the southern border in Arizona.